Grace and peace, everybody. We are back. You didn't see a thumbnail, though, but you didn't see a title either. So, this is going to be a very quick video because I was out here chilling in Twitter, which usually is how all bad stories get started, right? So, anyway, I was over on Twitter checking out some other things going on, and I ran across an interview allegedly with a security guard that was there at the Maduro extraction. And it sounds pretty interesting. A couple other people talk about it. I don't know the veracity of it, but I do think there's some truth in it. So I'm just going to read it and go over it with you all. Thank you so much for being members of the channel. And so I wanted to go over this with y'all. So let's go. And this is on Mike Netter's Twitter as well as some other places. I think I found the original, but let's keep going. This account from a Venezuelan security guard loyal to Nicolas Maduro is absolutely chilling, and it explains a lot about why the tone across Latin America suddenly changed. Security guard. On the day of the operation, we didn't hear anything coming. We were on guard, but suddenly all our radar systems shut down without any explanation. The next thing we saw were drones, a lot of drones flying over our position. We didn't know how to react. Interviewer. So what happened next? How was the main attack? Security guard. After those drones appeared, some helicopters arrived, but there were very few. I think barely 8 helicopters. From those helicopters, soldiers came down, but a very small number, maybe 20 men. But those men were technologically very advanced. They didn't look like anything we fought against before. Look, man, 8 helicopters is a lot of helicopters. I don't know about you. That's a lot of helicopters. And I'm sorry, 20 special forces, that's entirely too many. You're in trouble. Let's keep it going. And then the battle began? Security guard, yes. But it was a massacre. We were hundreds, but we had no chance. They were shooting with such precision and speed, it seemed like each soldier was firing 300 rounds per minute. We couldn't do anything. Interviewer, and your own weapons, didn't they help? Security guard, no. No help at all, because it wasn't just the weapons. At one point, they launched something, I don't know how to describe it. It was like a very intense sound wave. Suddenly, I felt like my head was exploding from the inside. We all started bleeding from the nose. Some were vomiting blood. We fell to the ground, unable to move. Interviewer, and your comrades, did they manage to resist? Security guard, no, not at all. Those 20 men without a single casualty killed hundreds of us. We had no way to compete with their technology, with their weapons. I swear, I've never seen anything like it. We couldn't even stand up after that sonic weapon or whatever it was. Again, I don't know if this is true, but I think if this were propaganda, this is exactly what I would expect to come out. And we're going to see what happens in a second when he explains the region. So do you think the rest of the region should think twice before confronting the Americans? Without a doubt. I'm sending a warning to anyone who thinks they can fight the United States. They have no idea what they're capable of. After what I saw, I never want to be on the other side of that again. They're not to be messed with. And now that Trump has said Mexico is on the list, do you think the situation will change in Latin America? Definitely. Everyone is already talking about this. No one wants to go through what we went through. Now everyone thinks twice. What happened here is going to change a lot of things, not just in Venezuela, but throughout the region. I don't know. Like I'm with this guy right here. Oh, wait. Oh, this gentleman is the guy that okay, so this is the guy that everybody's getting this from. Okay. All right, let me see what he said. Okay. So this is the guy, his name is Antsync. Let's see what he said. Hopefully he's sharing this in English. Let's go.
He talks about all of the air defense systems. We have an update to the conversation from the Venezuelan soldier that we brought up yesterday.
So the video, what I just read to you was a transcript from this gentleman here. And so now he's updated it again, and now he's giving part two. And it says part two just dropped, and this time it gets deeper. The soldier's reaction might surprise you. Let's go.
He talks about the initial group of soldiers that were taken out were Maduro's security force that was comprised of some Cubans and some Venezuelans. He said all the Cubans were taken out right to the dome. He talks about all of the air defense systems that were knocked out by tomahawks with intense explosions. In one instance, it knocked that system into the ocean. It landed on a boat and killed 5 patrolmen. He talks about 4 F-16s that were taken out. There was 4 civilians that were unalived. He talks about one woman that was standing in the front of the naval base. They took out all the bases and all the air defense systems. That woman was knocked 5 meters into a house. That's how intense that explosion. This is going to be super interesting. You're going to find this to be interesting. He switches and does a 180 and says, hey, listen, we shouldn't have a problem being the 51st state of the United States. He says the amount of investment that's coming into the infrastructure, into the educational system, into the hospitals, and into the oil facilities are going to do amazing things for this country. He says that he's had the opportunity to look at, and I don't know how, that within 16 to 18 months, they want to be producing 3.5 million barrels a day of oil out of Venezuela. Within 24 months, they want to be at 5 million barrels a day. When we say Venezuela is going to boom, it's going to be one of the richest nations in the world. In one of my previous posts, I said Venezuela has the ability to be the next El Salvador and or Dubai. That's how rich Venezuela is. That's how many resources are in Venezuela. And this guy's acknowledging it, saying now, it's not a bad thing becoming the 51st state. None of this would have happened under Maduro if he would have stayed in power.
All right, so I'm gonna leave this guy's link down in the chat, down in the description as well. I thought I had already done it, but let me just double check, make sure I did that. So that's super interesting. And again, we're taking it from this gentleman. I don't know much about him, so I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. Maybe just file it under wait and see, because I think we all want to see, some evidence to this. Of course we do, but let me just drop his link in there. I'm gonna add it to the video so that you all can check out what he's talking about and follow him and see if he's we'll keep track of him. He said 18 months, 24 months. Hey, Lord willing, we'll be here. We want to check it out. So, but let me know what y'all think about this. I thought this was very interesting, and I want to get your feedback on it. Another thing I want to point out, just so we can be fair as it relates to the whole undertaking there in Venezuela, is understanding what the Venezuelans are experiencing. What is their perception of this? And I didn't know that Dr. Jesus Enrique Rojas is Venezuelan. I like him. We've talked about him before. He's a body language expert. And we talked about him before, but I didn't know that he was Venezuelan. Go figure. So guess what? We're going to bring Dr. Enrique up in here. All right, let's hear what he had to say. I thought he had a wonderful take on it. Let's go.
Yeah, that's what happened, and I'm gonna play this video because this is important. I want to share you part of my experience as well that I still feel to this day. 10 years. I'm like in the smack in the middle. After I left Venezuela, I'm gonna share with you something that I still feel to this day. I play this clip of. The survivor of the Maduro regime should be required viewing for every American, and it should be played on every news station in America before anyone forms an opinion about the Venezuela op.
An American that hasn't lived the terror of socialism will never understand what is going on right now. I don't care if you have a master's degree in whatever, unless you live it in your own skin, you won't ever understand it. And I think it's terribly disrespectful for anybody to tell Venezuela how we should react to that. I think it's terribly disrespectful to the people that have died, saying that Maduro shouldn't be where he is. And I left my country with just the clothes I was wearing and a little bit of diapers and milk that I had left. Don't you dare telling me that this is not a reason for celebration. When I first come into the United States, I cried and had to turn around to my husband and ask him to please help me to open the shower because I didn't even know how to open the shower. When I walked into Walmart and I saw so many options to eat, I couldn't believe myself. Our reality is different. We want to live. And you guys have everything in this country, more than you could ever imagine. And I just wish that you could love it a little bit more and respect it a little bit more. Because if I had to give my life for America, I would.
This is not an exaggeration. You might say, how long have you been in the United States? Have you I don't know, are you taking things for granted? Have you you still have that reaction to when you go to and you see all the things in the world? I'm going to tell you one thing. Yes, it was a shock. It was a shock when you leave Venezuela. And I had traveled a lot to the United States before leaving Venezuela. So again, I remember two of my favorite places: Publix, Whole Foods. That's something that I just can't get enough of. It was amazing having so many amazing products in such a amazing amount. You could find them in Venezuela, but in very, very tiny spots. Okay, I'm not gonna say that you couldn't find them, but if you went to a supermarket in Venezuela, it was, let's say, a different experience. And most of the time, you have to be in a WhatsApp group that told you that there's a powdered milk arriving at the market. I remember that I lived next to this very small mall by United States Antrix. It was a small mall, had a supermarket, and we had the WhatsApp group of somebody who said, okay, we know that powdered milk arrived. Powdered milk was I don't know. I felt like I was I don't know, in the Middle Ages or something, because I had to stop doing whatever I was doing and run to be able to buy powdered milk. And why was powdered milk so important? Because something that you could store for when, things like milk did not appear for weeks or even months. You have to run. How many bags of powdered milk? You can take 2. All right. What did I do? I bought 2 bags of powdered milk. I went, say that I had to go with my car. This was next to my house, but I went with my car. I entered the parking lot. I went to my car. I deposited the 2 powdered milk bags, and I went to the supermarket again to buy 2 more bags. And I did like 5 times, and I got to get 10 powder bags. Everybody was doing that. We were desperate. But there's another thing. That hasn't changed in me. I still feel like this is something that I will never, a sensation that almost 10 years after the fact, I still feel. And it's hot water. Being able to take a shower with hot water. When I left Venezuela, I simply don't remember the last time I was able to take a proper hot shower for many reasons. I'm not going to elaborate on that. But one of them, it's not like I didn't have the means to install a water heater. No, the problem is you need two things for hot water. You need a water heater, of course. It's something that it's natural, right? It's the only way to heat water. But what is the other thing that you need for hot water besides the water heater? Let's see if you can guess. What else do you need for hot water?
Water?
Besides the water heater. Let's see
Or
if
gas.
anyone
Water, gas,
have the
or
water
electricity.
heater. What else do you need? I'm pretty sure that you can guess this. It's very easy. It's a very easy question. What do you need? Let's see who comments that first. I'm going to highlight the first comment. Say, what do you need? And it's something that still feels
Man,
to
we
this
take it
day.
for granted.
Every time I
Wow.
open, oh yes, SSJB, you need water.
There we go.
Yes, imagine that. You need water. You could have the water heater, but yes, bitch girl, Jax, you need water. You could have the best heater in the world.
Oh my God.
You don't have water.
You have water.
You have to heat the water in the kitchen, and you have to essentially, you have to. I remember that I lived in a 5th floor, and again, because of reasons, most of the time the lift was not working, and sometimes let's say I was really fit. The silver lining, I was very fit back then, because I had to carry a ton of water, both the drinkable and the not drinkable. And at the end of the day, I was so tired because of everything, not to mention the electricity, which we were ration, that is a word, electricity a lot. We had special days of rationing at 8 hours without electricity. Sometimes it was at night, and it was not fun at all. And sometimes we did not have lifts. So most of the time, we're talking about 11 p.m. I was exhausted for everything. There was no internet. There was no electricity. There was a problem with the water. You have to run and buy the goddamn powder milk at the market. You have to go with your car. Make sure that we did not have issues with gas back then. It happened after we left. But I was so tired at 11 p.m. when I was going to take a shower. A shower was a bucket of water. Okay, I had to heat my water. I am not going to heat the water. I'm not going to wait for to heat the water in the kitchen. I want to take a shower right now, and I took the shower right now with the cold water. You can say, "Oh, you're complaining, Jesus, about the cold water." Not going to complain, because at least I had water in my apartment. But for the longest time, I don't know. For the longest time, I really did not know what showering with hot water was. When I traveled to the United States and I opened the shower, and you had that scorching hot water coming out, it was like, okay, this bliss, this absolute bliss. And when I finally left Venezuela and I got used to internet working all the time, that was a big for me, because all my work has been basically online from the longest time. Electricity working all the time. Yeah, I think in 10 years, I have experienced 2 blackouts that lasted 3 hours, something like that. Something that in 10 years. And the hot water.
Hot water, baby. Wow.
So you might think that this is such a small thing, showering with hot water. for me, for Jesus Enrique Rosas, is not a small thing. I still, to this day, every time I shower and I open the hot water and I feel the hot water, is a feeling that I cannot describe. It's a feeling of, I am living in the first world. I'm living in civilization. Wow. I'm living in, I'm experienced this luxury. I feel it as a luxury. And that's why I see so many people dismissing this, taking for granted so many things that they have. And I can understand, because I've been through stages of my life, and I also lived through the part of Venezuela who was really wealthy. I understand. You have to, I don't know, I don't want you to experience that. I just want you to imagine that. That's why I tell you about my experiences. I can be really crazy. I can tell you. Wow. I can tell you all sorts of anecdotes about back in the day, about Venezuela. And no, I don't miss any of that. I absolutely don't miss any of those experiences. But at the same time, I am grateful for having lived that, because that allows me to appreciate small things like showering with hot water. Such a small thing.
Shout out to Dr. Enrique. Man, Jesus Enrique Rojas. Shout out to him. Yo, when's the last time you thanked God for a hot shower? Like, really? That's crazy. I just wanted to make this was a short, unintentional live stream. I just want to say thank you so much for supporting the channel. Maybe this is kind of like a build off of our Thankful Thursday. Let's be thankful today that we have the resources that we have here in the United States. And if you don't have access to them, there's still things that you can be thankful for. So shout out for sure. What do we have here? I couldn't even imagine growing up like that. And it enrages me to hear people in America talk about how oppressed they are. I don't even understand it. People want to be, I tell my wife all the time, people want to be unhappy. When you can be happy about the wonderful things that you have, that God has given you, they would rather spit on those things, shake their fist at the wonderful provision that God has given to them, and they just want to be sad. They want to be upset. They want to be angry. They want to have something to complain about. And you know what? Y'all go ahead and do that, because you're going to do that by yourself. I'm not going to do that with y'all. But I want to say thank y'all so much. I will be back this evening. Later, it's going to probably be about 6:30 to do the watch party for Candace. So y'all hold tight for me. Hold tight for me. I know y'all are used to me being right there on the dial, but can't do that this week or next week. But I do want to say thank you so much for rocking with me. Thank you so much for being members of the channel, supporting the channel, all that kind of stuff that you do. It does not go unnoticed by me. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate it. And we'll end right here with Kim says, I pray often, but I bet I'll get more detailed in my thankfulness today. I'm trying to tell you. I'm going to leave it right there. Thank y'all so much, everybody. Please have a great rest of the day. I'll see you real soon. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the J Whip Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment, because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.